welcome to yet another episode of Tai'Shar Manethrin, a Wheel of Time podcast. I'm Will.
Sam.
Today, we've arrived.
Yes, we have at last.
We're at the end of a very long journey through the slog. This is the final episode about Crossroads of Twilight.
If we can do a podcast and dive into all of these slog books, you can read them. You can, If you're halfway through the slog, don't listen to this because we're spoiling all of it. So just turn it off and go finish reading the slog.
Oh man, if I feel like if we can do this, you can do anything.
Go run a marathon, man.
Right, go.
It's all climb hunger and
climb Olympus Mons.
Ride a rocket to space.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway,
I guess you'd have to do to climb Olympus Mons.
Yeah, and also invent some way to, I guess, climb that particular. Anyway,
right, fair.
So Sam,
land your rocket on top of now. Never mind.
Sam has the summaries this episode, starting with chapter 27.
All right, chapter 27. What must be done? I'm going to call this a read, but you could skip that one part if you want. I got an unpleasant one here, bro.
It's a little, it gets a little intense.
That's how the Rick and Morty episode descriptions start. I don't know. Wheel of Time, now with more unpleasant torture. First I said skim because I kind of wish I hadn't read it. It sheds some new light on Perrin as a person, but it isn't light anyone would want shed on them,
It is important, like, character development.
It is indeed. He's doing what must be done to find Fael, so this is the natural next step of that process. In this case, that means chopping off a dude's hand. Perrin understandably doesn't want anyone to go back into So Harbor while the grain is being winnowed. Because on account of the ghosts.
Yep.
Goes back to camp, and Sulin, along with Danol and Adara, tell him that the maidens captured 5 Shido, and Massima is with them. So that's a great start. Perrin finds them outside of the Gildanan camp. The Shido prisoners are bound and gagged. One of them is naked and stretched out between stakes. They've put hot coals on his stomach, which are cooking on his skin, which is making it smell like a barbecue.
Yikes.
Aram is all about it in a very not cool way. Massima.
I mean, at this point, don't you say, I'm a little worried about that guy. Like, he seems a little too into this.
I mean, the rest of them are like kind of standing around stone faced, but Aram is like into it. So Massima and the Gildanan tell Perrin to butt out. They all think he doesn't have what it takes to get info from the prisoners. Y'all ain't got jack diddly from these gentlemen. Don't you know that? Have to know that. This is just a chance of trying a magnifying glass on some ants. What's a little sadism among friends? Perrin kicks the coals off the stone dog, and everyone is clearly like, dude, get out of here. We got this. Perrin shows them how wrong they are by abruptly chopping the guy's hand off and having an Aes Sedai heal it before he can bleed out.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So in response, the prisoner starts singing Wash the Spears. Perrin tells him and the rest that they don't have to tell the truth. If they don't tell the truth, he'll chop off all their arms and legs and leave them to be beggars in some village or other. That gets their attention.
Yeah. Ooh, man.
Pretty brutal stuff. So Perrin leaves and throws his axe into a tree. Axe throwing. It's great. It's a fun little cottage industry. Is that the one near my house? I didn't realize it until the other day.
Yeah, we've got one here in town too. I haven't done it in a while. It was one of the few things that I tried, and I was like, "Hey, I'm actually okay at this."
Nice. For me, usually it was just like banging against the backside of it, and just not quite getting the angle right. But pretty cool. Elias asks if he's having a nice time, if he enjoys using the axe. So they talk about battle. Aram walks up with Nialt. Aram says the Shido claim to not know where Fael is, so they should really get those coals going again. Perrin says, no more coals, man. Balor shows back up with Talonvor. Hey, Talonvor, where you been, buddy? Well, apparently Talonvor has been talking to some Shan-Chan. Says there are Shan-Chan with Damani who are also searching for the Shido, so enemy of my enemy sort of deal. Tell me more, Perrin says. All right, chapter 28, A Cluster of Rosebuds. We're going to call this a scud, which is really a synonym for skim, but the wrong type of synonym. But I liked it enough that I just kept it in there.
That's like when I called it a skimp.
Yes, indeed. Back to Matt. Luca doesn't want to push the circus as hard because it's hard to make money if they never stay anywhere long, and they're far enough away from Ibudar that the Shan-Cham seem like less of a menace. Vannon doesn't think the menagerie will ever reach Lugard, and Matt is as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs every time they see a Shan-Chan. I'm sure a long-tailed cat would be quite nervous.
It seems like you wouldn't need to be in a room full of rocking chairs to...
True.
You know...
So that cat would just be ready.
I guess that just ups the ante.
Sure. Seeing all those chairs rocking back and forth and just darting your eyes around. Yeah. Matt sees the Aes Sedai and Suldam sneaking around and follows them back to their wagon. The Foxhead medallion goes cold, so he knows somebody be channeling. Rena says they should collar the Aes Sedai again. That's the best way to keep track of them.
Those witches really do be channeling.
Yeah, Matt says no. Teslin says there were Shan-Chan soldiers in the camp looking for people who don't belong. Bethman says the Suldam know all about the plans for Ilion, but figured Matt didn't care. But they don't really go into it much more than that, which is confusing. He says, please stay in the wagons. If anything, Matt is more worried about Julian and Thera than the Suldam and Aes Sedai. Thinks Thera would spill the beans without being pushed too hard. So he asks Noel to follow them and check. His next brilliant plan is to ask Aguinan to go with him to see Tuon. Why, Matt? This is why. Spoiler alert. Does not go well. Noel remembers part of the prophecies when they enter. I'm going to read them, and I've lost it. Something about Matt. I didn't write them down. Tries to give Tuon an expensive necklace. Lucia says it looks like something a stripper would wear. She had answer. Throws it at Aguinan and says, you wear it. Oof. Says her new name should be Lewin Shipless. Matt drops back to punt, so to speak. Decides to take on a different tack with Tuon. He thinks about tactics he would at war. Good man, that's more like it. You can't just buy some gaudy jewelry for a future queen lady. Brings presents for Seleucia, flowers made from cloth. Plays stones with Tuon and wins often. So this is kind of a multi-night montage kind of deal. But she wins some too. Brings silk rosebuds one time, but doesn't directly give them to Tuon. Just kind of lays them down next to the board after a game. They start taking walks at night. Matt learns that he's half married to her by the fact that he said she's his wife 3 times, but she has to do the same for it to be complete.
That whole half married thing is kind of funny. We don't have exactly an equivalent of that. It's like, well, they're half married.
Right. Usually said more tongue-in-cheek rather than literally, you said the words, you're half married. Circus goes to a town with many Shan-Chan, so Matt expects Tuon to summon them, but she doesn't. Chapter 29, Something Flickers. So I'm going to call this one a skate. Just skate on through it, read as much or as little as you want. Doman tells Matt he's crazy. What's new, pussycat? Tuon asks him to buy her clothes, and he gives her his word that he would. So Aguinan tells Doman that Tuon gave her word that she wouldn't betray them, so don't worry about it, man. The dice are rolling in Matt's head. How often is that not happening, though, truly?
As a person who has been getting more and more into tabletop role-playing games, I'm wondering specifically what kind of dice.
Are they just your normal, 6-sided die? Or are they a 20-sided die?
Yeah, I'm thinking, it would be interesting if you had a full set of, all the different...
You couldn't have any thoughts at all, just all the different sides just hammering around in there.
Oh, that percentage die, that's so annoying and nobody likes or hardly ever uses.
Fair enough.
If you use the percentage die, tell me what for.
What does it even look like?
So it's a 10-sided die. There's 2 10-sided die in a full set. One of them has 1 through 10. I just
Googled that, and the odds of dying injury facts is the first thing.
Oh yeah, well I guess that would happen. Yeah, the 10-sided regular 10-sided die just has 1 through 10, 0 through 9. I apologize. My much smarter wife is sitting next to me, watching watching Dairy Girls taking care of me because she knows how nerds be. Yeah. The point is, it's got 10 sides. Then the other one has 10.
20, 40. Is it? Yeah. I just looked at a picture of it. Nice.
Yes, it starts with 00, goes 10, 20, 30, and
very good.
Anyway, the point being that you roll that with a 10-sided die. One gives you the first digit, one gives you the second digit, and you get
your percentage of whatever. Okay.
That's the idea.
But no one likes it, huh? Okay.
Well, it doesn't get used a whole lot. Sure. And there is also a 100-sided die that you could use instead. Which is pretty funny looking.
I bet. Yeah, I need to check that out.
It's basically a ball.
Yeah, sure. We use some dice recently. My child has gotten into Pokemon cards, and so there's been an uptick in the dice usage.
Yes,
there mainly for keeping track of health.
Oh.
Yeah, it is hurting my wallet. But I have a nice tool. Every time I want him to help me rake the yard, Pokemon cards.
Oh yeah, that is helpful. Yeah, I was that way with renting movies. That was the thing for me. Was hey, if you behave, then we'll rent a movie or whatever.
I tried to watch that Blockbuster show on Netflix. Not so great.
Okay, well, we haven't checked it out yet.
I mean, not to definitely check it out, but
it got really terrible reviews. Okay,
yeah.
All right, I guess we should get back on track. Sorry about that.
I suppose. No, it's all good. Tuon and Selucia waiting for Matt in their purple wagon. Apparently, it's purple. The detail in my head. Tuon says they've been waiting for an hour, and she might add lace to Matt's robes to make him a cupbearer. He wonders for a minute if she could still make him Daco Vale if she married him. She basically will, though. I mean, even if she doesn't officially. Come on, man. She takes him arm. Yep, thank you, Google, for marking that for me. Yes, that is indeed a grammar error. Takes him arm, and they walk out of the circus camp. Isn't far to town, but Matt has to dodge a crowd of people all of a sudden. No one seems to notice him and would walk right into him if he didn't dodge out of the way. Hate it when that happens. Actually, in Austria, it was a thing. Men would regularly just collide with each other in the streets because neither would be willing to move over. That was it's just like a cultural thing. I don't know. It's kind of fun to watch. Just smack right into each other. They just kind of stumble backwards and then keep walking.
It's like games of chicken going on.
Yeah. No expression, just stony face, just bam. Pretty excellent.
It's a funny image.
It is, yeah. Tuon says, "Are you practicing a dance? It isn't very graceful." Matt looks up and realizes there's nobody around. Spooky. So I guess it's more of the ghosts. Matt says, "I can't buy you a dress standing here." He doesn't want to think too long about the people who disappeared. Has more obvious problems in his life. Chalks it up to Taviran. Fair point, Mr. Coughlin. It's not a bubble of evil, but maybe an effervescence of turpitude. I don't know. I wanted to work a fart joke in there, but another time.
It's like me in the game of bowls.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not gonna use that kind of potty humor in this highbrow kind of
endeavor we got going here.
Yes, right.
Indeed. So Jurador is a busy town with wide streets and stone buildings roofed in reddish tile. Suon and Telucia want to stop at every silk shop and touch everything. Did you notice? Yeah, it doesn't matter. But Matt sees Tom walk by yawning. Lopin and Niram say he's awake at all hours reading and rereading his letter from Moraine. Matt notices Edicina pulling up her cloak. While he's distracted, Tuon and Selucia have vanished. Oh no, never mind. There they are. Wow, the stakes in this chapter, sky high. Matt tosses a purse of gold on the table and says, "Buy it, let's go." They get a bunch of silk all tied up for Matt to lug back to camp. When they get back, Julian runs up. Paginan's been hurt. Tom is gradling her? Gradling. Okay, gradle. That's...
Domon, it says, is gradling her.
Yeah, did I say? I was focused on gradling. Gradle, of course, being a Java build environment often used for Android. Anyway, under the edge of a wagon, eyes closed. Man, I cannot write. Trickle of blood at the corner of her mouth. Luca says, "This could be a disaster." Not really talking about a Keenan in that moment. Thanks, Luca. Matt checks her pulse. She's still alive. Doman says Rena did it. Stabbed a Keenan in the back and ran. He would have snapped her neck if he'd had a chance, but she got away. Tessalin heals Aeginin, even though she says she's bad at it. She says she should be okay. Tessalin, can you heal me of my addiction to Halloween candy? Is that a thing? Just we fire, air, water, singe it out of me. No, Google, I did not mean sing there.
The whole like healing, but I'm not very good at it. Could you imagine like, I mean, I'll do surgery on you. I'm just not very good at it. And then, surgery. And then, well, she should be fine.
Where's my watch? Right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the way it kind of feels with some
of these Aes Sedai, they're second-rate healers.
Right.
Like, I kind of know how to do some field medic work here, but
it's like
slap a Band-Aid on it. So to speak.
Hopefully all those organs came back in the right way.
Right. You might, have hiccups for the rest of your life or something.
Yeah, forgot math.
Matt asks Julian, who's looking for her. Vanin in the Red Arms, everybody, Oliver. Matt says, what the heck? I thought Rena was a meek lamb. Aeginin comes to just enough to say she knew Rena's secret, that she'd been leashed and all the Suldam could be Damani. Tuon does not like hearing that. The Red Arms trot up and say Rena stole a horse. Vanin's on her trail. She could reach Coromyn tonight. She's bareback, but we might catch her with luck. So Matt tells Luca to hit the road with the circus right away. Sean Chan could be here tomorrow. We'll catch up. Luca, of course, says, no, my money. Matt mounts Pips, rides out to meet Vanin says she's pushing harder than expected. Matt says we can make it. Vanin spits. They walk their horses for a mile, trot, canter, run, back to walk. I guess it makes sense. You can't gallop the beasties nonstop or they'll keel over. I know nothing about horses.
Me neither.
Yeah, fair enough.
We actually stayed in an Airbnb where there were a couple of horses named Shoots and Raisin recently.
Nice.
Yeah, and we fed him carrots. And I was like, kind of like, man, I feel like I should know more about horses than I do.
Yeah. So horses come up often enough in genre fiction that
right.
You think you would have learned by osmosis, but no.
Well, it's not like we grew up in the big city, or something,
True.
But
that's a good point.
I just haven't been around them much.
There was a lot more cotton and corn than there were horses, really. But,
yeah.
Vanin points. Rena is headed up a slope on the other side of the river, 200 paces from some Shan-Chan. Harnan has an arrow knocked and says, my lord. Matt feels something flicker and die inside him, then says, shoot. Harnan doesn't miss. Rena's dead. Rolls backwards down the hill and tumbles into the stream below. Floats downstream. So back at Luca's wagon, Littell is offering Tuon a plate of pastries. Tuon asks if Rena is dead or captured. Dead, Matt says. Tuon says, I forbid you to mourn a traitor. She would have betrayed you as easily as she betrayed the Empire. You did justice. Matt asks if everyone is still here. Luca says, of course. The High Lady gave me a signed warrant saying Luca's show is under the personal protection of the High Lady Turath Athiam Kor Pendriak.
Sure.
Tuon says, don't use that unless you're in great distress, though. Luca bows. Of course. Tuon says, of course, you're not on that list, Matt, with a not malicious smile. Matt notices the little cluster of rosebuds he gave her is pinned to her shoulder. So he starts to laugh and laugh until his ribs hurt because he has no idea about who this woman is, doesn't know anything about her, clearly. No ideas. So on to chapter 30, what the Oath Rod can do. I'm going to call this who cares. Take that as you will. Egwene picks weevils out of her porridge. Leave them in. Get that extra buggy protein. Chase agrees. All feed to the belly. Pay it no mind. Niseo. This is what I was talking about in the last episode. You did almost exactly this. This is the same thing. Yeah. Niseo walks in holding the power. Chase leaves. Somebody else is dead. This time it's Karen. No, Karen. Yep. Killed with Sidene, neck broken. It's not the first. Lots of Aes Sedai are walking around holding Sidar as a result. So
it is funny. It's like, okay, hey, this bad thing happened. All right, you go make sure that we figure out why it's happening. And then she shows back up. This bad thing has happened again.
I literally, when you were reading that paragraph, or when you were talking about that part of that chapter, I was thinking, did you do the wrong chapter? But then no, it's just the same thing.
It's just the same thing happened. And it's like, blast. We still haven't figured it out.
Lovely. So Egwene goes to her study tent. I wish I had a study tent. It'd be nice. The
It's like
I will be in my study tent.
it's like a she shed, but for studying.
Indeed. Theodrin is her first visitor, asks if Romanda can meet with her today, and she's real sassy too. Says yes. Theodrin relieves to be replaced by an accepted named Amara, requesting a similar visit from Elaine.
Mm-hmm.
Swan walks in as... Oh, no, wait. Amara was the sassy one. About Theodrin. I don't know. Whatever. I didn't read it that closely. Swan walks in as Egwene reads a note from Theodrin. Egwene says it's important no one doubts her. Swain says everyone loves you, even if they won't admit it, or maybe not loves, respects, accepts you, whatever.
Appreciates, tolerates.
Yeah, realizes you're in charge. Next is Shiriam. Cavalcade of Aes Sedai politicking conversations to finish out the slog instead of an epic battle. You know, it's kind of fitting if you ask me.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't really get a big climactic moment in this book,
Which is appropriate.
Yeah, you know, I really, truly, when we started this book, I thought, oh, good, this is the book where, you know, the Perrin side plot is going to be resolved. Nope. Not resolved.
And not the Egwene succession plot either?
Nothing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally left off. Gala ran away a few days before. Tiana, Mistress of Novices, took a while to discover it because Nicholas' cousins were covering for her. So they're being punished. Shiriam says, you know, maybe we should be lenient on them. And Egwene says, nope. Egwene asks how people are dealing with her dream about a Shan-Chan attack. Shiriam basically says no one cares. Myrell and Morvrin next, then Megan, who sends Swan for tea. Next, Reagan. Gareth Bryn sent a message that raiders are nearby and Aes Sedai should stay close to the camp. And Egwene says, we go where we want. So that was all a waste. Romanda walks in, says, it just seems more like Amanda, whatever. Talks are going badly with the Tower Aes Sedai. Says they should send ferrets in after Elida. I personally believe ferrets always a great option.
It would be awesome if they just like pranked them real bad. And
I would have been cool with a ferret climax to this book.
That just tons of ferrets.
Just a horde of ferrets. Is it a crowd of ferrets? A furball of ferrets? I don't know. What's that? It's a murder of crows. What's the ferret term? I don't know.
I don't know.
Of ferrets.
A faffle of... Are you sure?
Is it a business? It's a business.
Is it a business of ferrets?
That's the title of our. As we're changing the title of our podcast to a business
my goodness! Yes, a business of ferrets. The thing is, like the really passionate like ferret people who exist somewhere.
Oh, absolutely.
Would like be like, oh, this isn't a ferret podcast.
Sure, true. That would be true.
Otherwise, I totally would. I would do it right now.
At least the title of this episode may be a business.
Maybe.
I don't know. In parentheses, maybe. Anyway. She brings up the kin. How could Aes Sedai have missed the kin? You know, there's so many of them. They really live that long, or are they just saying that? Egwene says, well, there's the sea folk, you know. We didn't know all of them were wilders. You know, dang it, someone should be throwing balefire right now. Where's the boss fight?
Right.
I want my money back.
And instead, we like the most climactic part of this is just rampant irresponsibility.
Yeah, lots of nonsense talking. Romanda says that yes, the sea folk should be hunted down, but really the kin. We need to go round up the kin, bring them in. Egwene says, you know, they're good. They have it under control. You know, so Romanda says, well, what about the ageless look? If they really were channeling that long, they would have the ageless look. So Egwene drops the bomb that the ageless look is because of the oath rod. Maybe, and then she says, maybe Aes Sedai should be able to retire into the kin, remove the 3 oaths. Romanda says she will die as Aes Sedai and storms out. So then Lelaine comes in, suggests they modify the warder bond for Ashaman. Egwene says, bro, that is compulsion, and we don't do the dark side stuff. You know, no unforgivable curses on my watch. Please and thank you. Everyone will be birched. So then Egwene rides Tai'Shar to where Bodcothan is, says, I'm going to do the job instead of you, gets on a boat, rows out to the chains in the middle of the harbor, uses Saidar to turn the big old chains into Quaindiar. Then someone channels and she gets knocked out, wakes up on the other side, and has been captured.
There it is. That's your climax for this book.
That's it, man. That is all that happened at the end of this book.
Is like Egwene put herself in a situation that was just not
Just dumb.
yeah, not the smartest. And then, yes, as a result, she gets captured. And then it's like, and book.
Handbook. And then we have a little epilogue, an answer. Oh, there's Rand. Too late, my dude. No time for a boss fight. This is just the epilogue. Only time for Lews Therin to say, pain lets you know you're alive. Well, okay. Thanks for that.
Cherish the pain.
Yeah. Bashir says, the Shan-Chan have agreed, but only if Rand meets them in person. So they want to have a truce if Rand will meet them in person. Suroth has arranged for him to meet the Daughter of the Nine Moons, or maybe not arranged, but wants for him to meet the Daughter of the Nine Moons, assuming she can find her.
And that's it.
The slog, man. We slogged it.
Well, man, I feel like we should go out and get ice cream. I feel like we earned it. We made it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We made it through. We made it through the wilderness. Yeah, we made it through.
It was the darkest before the dawn, for sure.
Yes. All right. Well, thanks for listening, especially as we wrap up this book. We want to thank you. We're promised we're going to be much more excited about the books to come. So if you have gotten tired of us sounding too complainy, we're gonna be better. We're gonna be better.
We are, yeah.
Yes. So if you want to contact us, you can always visit our website at tsmpodcast.com or on the socials at podcast TSM. Feel free to email us at stuff@tsmpodcast. And if you want to help us out, you can always donate at our website as well. Follow us on our YouTube channel. Go look for that. And, I hope you see you back next time. And until then, Tai'Shar Manetheren.